A man's true worth is not measured by the validation he receives from others but by the mastery he has over himself. In a world that constantly tries to pull men away from their core, where distractions, fleeting desires, and external pressures cloud judgment, the high-value man remains steadfast. He is not defined by the opinions of women, society, or even his own emotions. He is defined by the principles he upholds. Strength is not found in how many people admire you, nor in how many accomplishments you can showcase. Strength is the quiet discipline of a man who knows who he is, what he stands for, and what he will never tolerate. Many men today fall into the trap of seeking approval, bending their own values to be more likable, and molding themselves to fit the expectations of others. This is not strength, it is servitude. A high-value man does not chase, does not beg, and does not waver in the face of temptation. He knows that his energy is sacred, his time is valuable, and his focus should never be dictated by those who do not respect it. He does not compromise his integrity for the sake of fleeting validation. He does not build his sense of self-worth on whether a woman approves of him. Instead, he operates from an inner foundation of purpose, discipline, and unshakable self-respect. Women do not truly desire the man who submits to their every whim, nor do they respect the man who sacrifices his own mission to accommodate them. What they respect, what they are drawn to, is a man who holds his ground. A man who remains firm in his convictions, who does not waver when tested, and who refuses to lower his standards for anyone. This is the man who leads, not just in relationships but in life. The path of the high-value man is not an easy one. It demands restraint when others indulge. It requires silence when others seek attention. It calls for action when others hesitate. The weak man allows circumstances, emotions, and people to dictate his course. The strong man bends circumstances to his will, masters his emotions, and refuses to let anyone dictate his value. This is not about arrogance, it is about ownership. The world does not give respect freely, it must be earned, demanded, and reinforced through unwavering consistency. The moment a man allows disrespect, tolerates mediocrity, or places the desires of others above his own purpose, he begins to lose himself. And a man who has lost himself has nothing left to offer. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Master yourself first, and everything else will fall into place. Do not seek power, become powerful. Do not ask for respect, embody it. Do not chase approval, carry yourself in a way that makes it irrelevant. The high-value man walks alone if necessary, but he never walks away from himself. A high-value man is not defined by wealth, status, or the approval of others. He is defined by his discipline, his self-mastery, and his unwavering commitment to his principles. He does not chase, he does not beg, and he does not break under pressure. His strength lies in what he refuses to tolerate just as much as in what he pursues. There are 12 things a man of true value must never do, each one a silent test that determines whether he remains strong or slowly weakens. The 12 things a high-value man must never do. Number 1. Never sacrifice your values. A man who abandons his principles for the sake of approval is a man who has lost himself. Strength is not in words but in action. If a man compromises his beliefs to please a woman, he erodes his foundation. A high-value man stands firm, even when tempted, even when tested. He knows that respect is not given to those who waver, it is earned by those who remain unshaken. Number 2. Never seek validation from a woman. A man who looks to a woman for his sense of worth will always find himself beneath her. No woman, no matter how desirable, should dictate how a man sees himself. A high-value man does not beg for reassurance, he creates a life that makes him proud. He does not need constant approval because he knows who he is and what he stands for. His validation comes from his discipline, his actions, and his self-respect. Number 3. Never neglect your purpose for her. A man's mission is what makes him. The moment he puts a woman above his purpose, he begins to lose the very essence that made him attractive to her in the first place. A woman should complement his path, not become his entire world. If he abandons his ambitions for the sake of love, he will one day resent both himself and the relationship. A high-value man never loses sight of why he wakes up in the morning. Number 4. Never react emotionally to manipulation. Weak men are controlled by their emotions. A man who is easily provoked can be easily controlled. A high-value man does not react, he responds. He sees through games, through tests, through emotional traps, and he remains steady. A woman will respect a man who cannot be swayed by drama or provoked into weakness. The one who controls his emotions controls the outcome. Number 5. Never prioritize her over your well-being. A man who constantly puts a woman's needs above his own will eventually lose her respect. Self-sacrifice does not create attraction, it creates resentment. A high-value man understands that his health, his mental clarity, and his peace come first. Only a strong man can be a good partner. He does not drain himself for others, he makes sure he is full first so he can give from abundance, not depletion. Number 6. Never allow disrespect. Disrespect is a test. The moment a man allows it, he invites more of it. A high-value man does not demand respect, he commands it through his actions. If a woman speaks to him with contempt, crosses boundaries, or treats him as lesser, he does not argue, he walks away. A woman may challenge him, but she will only respect him if he enforces his standards without hesitation. Number 7. Never be overly attached. Love is a gift, but dependency is a weakness. A man who is afraid to lose a woman has already lost her. A high-value man enjoys the presence of his partner, but he is not defined by her. If she leaves, he remains whole. He does not cling. He does not beg. He understands that attachment leads to suffering, and true strength lies in knowing that he is enough, whether she stays or not. Number 8. Never engage in drama. Drama is a trap that drains time, energy, and mental clarity. A high-value man has no interest in pointless arguments, petty conflicts, or emotional manipulation. He does not waste his breath explaining himself to those who do not wish to understand. He keeps his focus on his mission, his peace, and his personal growth. When drama arises, he either neutralizes it or removes himself entirely. Number 9. Never chase a woman's attention. What is chased runs away. A man who pursues a woman with desperation will always find himself in a position of weakness. Attraction is earned, not demanded. A high-value man does not beg for time, does not seek validation, and does not make himself smaller to be noticed. He focuses on becoming his best self, and in doing so, the right people naturally gravitate toward him. Number 10. Never let your emotions control you. A man who is ruled by his emotions is a man who is easily broken. The difference between a leader and a follower is emotional control. A high-value man does not lash out in anger, crumble in sadness, or lose himself in neediness. He acknowledges his emotions but never allows them to dictate his actions. He remains composed, steady, and unwavering, regardless of the situation. Number 11. Never overcommit to please her. Overextending yourself to win approval is a losing game. A high-value man understands his limits and enforces them. He does not say yes when he means no. He does not exhaust himself trying to make someone happy at the cost of his own peace. He respects his time, his energy, and his priorities. He understands that true respect comes not from giving endlessly, but from knowing when to step back. Number 12. Never forget your own worth. At the core of a high-value man is an unshakable sense of self. No woman, no relationship, no external circumstance defines his value. He does not allow himself to be treated as less than he deserves. He does not shrink himself for approval. He stands firm in the knowledge that he is enough, not because the world tells him so, but because he has built himself into a man worthy of respect. A high-value man does not become one by accident. He is shaped by discipline, self-respect, and a refusal to tolerate anything that weakens him. He does not chase approval, he earns admiration through action. He does not bend for acceptance, he stands firm in his principles. And because of this, he commands respect wherever he goes. The Stoic mindset, living above weakness. A man who walks the path of Stoicism does not live as others do. He does not crumble under pressure, seek comfort in excuses, or allow weakness to define him. He understands that strength is not given, it is built. And what builds it is the constant, disciplined choice to rise above his lower impulses. The world will tempt him to fall into distraction, self-pity, and indulgence, but he refuses. A Stoic man does not live beneath himself, he rises above. To live above weakness is to master the self before attempting to master the world. A man can seek wealth, women, and power, but if he does not first conquer his own emotions, his desires will make him a slave. Weakness is not simply a lack of strength, it is an unwillingness to demand more from oneself. It is falling into emotional chaos, reacting instead of responding, chasing instead of attracting. The Stoic man sees these traps for what they are and steps over them without hesitation. There will be moments when emotions flare, when anger, desire, or doubt whisper their demands. But a man ruled by emotions is a man ruled by everything outside of him. He becomes reactive, unstable, easily swayed by the approval or rejection of others. The Stoic mindset demands something greater. It requires a man to develop an inner fortress, a place no insult can breach, no rejection can shake, no loss can collapse. He feels emotion, but he does not let it command him. To live above weakness also means refusing to be swayed by external validation. A man who needs constant reassurance is a man whose value is dictated by the shifting opinions of others. This is why the Stoic man does not seek approval, he seeks mastery. He does not ask, "Am I good enough?" He decides, through action, that he is. His self-worth is built from the inside out, not borrowed from fleeting admiration. A Stoic man understands that comfort is a slow poison. When he allows himself to grow soft, when he seeks ease instead of effort, he begins to weaken. He does not look for an easy life, he looks to become the kind of man who can handle whatever life throws at him. He chooses discipline over indulgence, structure over chaos, challenge over stagnation. This is why he stands taller, walks stronger, and moves through life with a presence that others feel before he even speaks. To live above weakness is to reject excuses. The world is full of men who blame their failures on others, on their past, on bad luck, on unfair circumstances. But a Stoic man refuses to give his power away. He does not waste time complaining. He does not let the world decide what he is capable of. He takes responsibility for himself in full. Every setback is a lesson. Every failure is fuel. He is not here to be pitied, he is here to conquer. At its core, the Stoic mindset is a declaration of independence, from weakness, from self-doubt, from the need to be anything other than what he chooses. He is not at the mercy of the world is at the mercy of the man he becomes. A man's life is defined not by his words, but by his actions. Not by what he hopes for, but by what he demands of himself. Strength is not found in fleeting moments of confidence but in the unshakable foundation of discipline, integrity, and purpose. A high-value man does not live at the mercy of the world, he builds himself so that no storm can move him. He does not bend for validation, nor does he seek approval to confirm his worth. He knows who he is because he has forged himself through fire. To lead with strength is to accept full responsibility for your path. The weak blame others, looking for reasons why life is unfair, why things don't go their way. But a man of purpose understands that excuses change nothing. If he wants respect, he earns it. If he wants power, he builds it. If he wants a meaningful life, he does not wait, he creates it. He does not beg for what he can take through effort. In relationships, he moves with clarity and conviction. He does not chase, because a man who knows his value does not run after anything. He does not tolerate disrespect, because he respects himself too much to allow it. He does not lose himself in another person, because he knows that his mission comes first. A woman can walk beside him, but she does not define him. He does not fear loss, because he is complete on his own. Living with purpose means rejecting distractions that weaken the mind and body. It means saying no to what does not serve your higher self. It means standing firm when others fold, remaining composed when others break, and walking forward when others hesitate. It is the quiet confidence of a man who does not need to prove himself, because he already knows who he is. The world respects the man who respects himself first. It does not matter what others think of you. What matters is whether you can look in the mirror and see a man who refuses to be less than he is capable of being. A man who holds himself to a higher standard. A man who is not swayed by impulse, weakness, or fear. The question is not whether you will face challenges. You will. The question is whether you will rise above them or let them define you. Every day is an opportunity to prove to yourself what kind of man you are. Live with purpose, move with strength, and never give your power away. If you found value in this, don't just watch, act. Hit the like button to show your commitment to growth. Subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism and join a community of men who refuse to be weak, who choose discipline over distraction, and who lead their lives with strength. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What's one principle from this video that you'll apply today? Let's build a brotherhood of men who hold themselves to a higher standard. Your transformation starts now.